All right, Torren, this is for you and any of the other party members that touch this obelisk and can cast arcane spells. It's not that long, pretty short, and I decided to do it in the fashion that we usually do the game. You know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So let me go ahead and set things up here and let you know what you experience. And then in Discord, in one of our channels, probably general, you can tell the party what it is you saw. All right. So, this is what happens. The world suddenly freezes around you. Your compatriots and the automatons are suspended in mid-action. Then everything begins to move backward in time, in reverse. Your compatriots walk backward, looking around, talking with each other, their voices garbled as their speech in birth. Before you know it, they're all gone, moving backwards down the clock tower. The effect, it speeds up. Hours, then days, weeks, years unfold in reverse around you in dazzling speed. Glimpses of past adventurers, hooded lanterns, skirmishes with the avian monsters fly by you as the clock tower restores itself to its former glory. Then, the clock tower's interior becomes engulfed in clouds of thick haze. The haze rewinds out the window slits, and a flash of blinding octarine light bathes the interior, imploding also back through the window. The effect halts. You find yourself standing in a clean clock tower, hearing the commotion of the busy streets and commerce echoing up to you from below. You can tell the sun is setting and can see Castle Draken in the distance out the window. Throw another image. An older man dressed in a thick rubber apron and work gloves moves around the clock tower with a notepad, looking at the machinery, then writing notes on the paper. Several of these automatons, which you guys have now seen, these things crawl across the machinery, poking at places with probes. Another person appears in this area besides the automatons, and the clock tower master here, Edgar Luke. That person looks like this. She is sweaty and disheveled as she enters from the stairwell onto this level of the clock tower. She looks over her shoulder, paranoid. Torren, you've seen this woman before. Maybe at some guest dinners at your family home with your father and your mom. She was your father's assistant at the castle. The clockmaster looks at her and says, "How can I help you?" Johan says, a bit breathlessly, "Archmage Adriana, where is she?" Edgar looks puzzled and says, "I don't know." Did she come through here already? Joanne says with some intensity. Edgar responds, well, if you mean did she drop off that letter about me losing my life's work here at the clock tower, yes, that happened. After all these years, you'd think they would be open with me. Tell the truth. I know it has something to do with all that shit they're pulling out the hole out back over the years. You'd think they would want someone who knew everything about this machine, he says, gesturing at the clockwork, to be clued in. Joanne interrupts him. Look, Bargus was arrested. His servants are dead in his home, and I can't find their family. It looks like they packed up and left. Edgar looks at her almost disbelieving. Arrested? Lord Grendel? Joanne continues. I don't know everything that happened, but he came to the castle this morning acting strange. He said something bad was coming and he needed to warn everyone. She frowns. He was saying something about that old witch on the outskirts. He was also worried about the Queen in particular. There was shouting. The Cardinal and Chamberlain and the Chancellor were there too. Edgar mutters. They never liked him much. At least Anika, from what he told me. Joanne continues. He told me if something happened to him, find his wife and then the Archmage. And then give her this. She pulls a bundle of cloth from her satchel and opens it up. An arcane energy radiates from the object inside. You see a golden seal with a coat of arms, the Von Draken coat of arms, something you've only seen in textbooks at the Academy and history books at Kessel Home, and on the steward's seal that your father carried. The golden seal is attached to an ornate wooden grip that has no trace of age. It is the legendary steward seal, the object your father carried, giving him authority to administer action on behalf of the king and managing the vast estates of Drakenheim and the finances of the city, including the castle. Decrees stamped with this object. Decrees stamped with the royal seal was good as law in Drakenheim. Your father controlled the heart of Drakenheim with this object. Despite his humble demeanor, Lord Grendel wielded tremendous power. Edgar's eyes grow wide. He says, well, the Archmage isn't here. Why didn't you go to the tower? You know, when they realize that is missing, they're going to hunt you down. Joanne shouts in frustration, I know! I came here because Lord Grendel said she would be here. It took a while for me to sneak out the castle and go by their place and stuff. I already warned the Queen. I think I saw a group of guards and mages out looking for me. Edgar says, I'm sorry. She does usually come by and check in on the work in the excavation hole, but she hasn't come by today. You see Joanne's face falls. Edgar and Joanne both turn around at the sound of armored men coming up the steps. Two of the Von Kessel guards emerge. Joanne backs away from the guards. One of them says about breathless, "Milady, it's time to end this." Joanne says nothing. "Look," the guard continues, "you could be a hero, and give it to us. Or a criminal. End up in the gallows, like your lord. Edgar steps in front of Joanne. The guard snorts and laughs. Old man, trust me, you don't want to get involved with this. Edgar's eyes narrow, and he says, I ain't moving unless she tells me so. There's a long silence. The guards look at Edgar and Joanne and Edgar look at them. Then, the lady breaks for the steps, rushing up them to the upper stories. The guards shout, hey! And spring into action. Edgar moves to intercept them, but one of the guards throws an elbow against his chin and he collapses dazed. The guards charge up the steps after her. But then, a few minutes later, there is a blinding purple flash and the sound of a tremendous explosive force that nearly splits your eardrum. Glass in the arrow windows blow out. Then, in an instant, you find yourself standing once again in the ruined clock tower. And that's what I have for you.